Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'll be showing you how to cut and sew this trendy bubu gown with collar. If this is what you would like to know about, keep watching and let's get started. I have these 2 meters of fabric that I'll be using for this tutorial. If you're on the big side, you can use 3 meters or 2.5, but for small size, 2 meters is fine. Small or medium size or even large size, 2 meters or 2 yards is fine. So I first folded my fabric into 2. Now I'll be folding again. That means it is into 4 now. Now that my fabric is folded into 4, that means I'll be cutting the front and the back together. The front and the back of the dress, I'll be cutting it together. I'll start by marking the shoulder measurement divided by 2 plus ½ inch allowance. Then I'll come down and mark the neck depth. I'll first mark the back neck depth, and I'm using 2 inches as the neck depth. But guys, if you want to make yours, I recommend you use 1 inch because I felt the 2 inches for the back is too deep. And I'm using a neck width of 3 inches. The next thing now is to determine how long you want the length of your bubu sleeve to be. For me, I will add 16 inches more to the shoulder measurement I already have. So from that point, I marked the shoulder measurement. I'll add 16 inches more, then I'll add 2 inches for allowance. Depending on how long you want your sleeve to be or how short, so you can determine that measurement of how long or how short you want your sleeve to be. Next, now I'll come down from that point now and mark 12 inches. That will be the sleeve opening. I'm marking 12 inches, so that will be the sleeve opening. So from there, I came in by 3 inches and I curved it. So from that curved point, I'll just take my ruler and mark it straight down. For the length of the dress, I'm using 39 inches. So depending on your choice, you can make it 39, 40, or depending on how short or long you want your bubu dress to be. So once I'm done marking the full length of the dress now, I'll connect it with a ruler and then I'll cut it out so that we can work on the front neckline. I'll cut out the neckline now, then I'll open it up so that I can work on the front neckline. Note that with the way I folded the fabric, there is no joining on the shoulder. So I went ahead to iron that shoulder part so that there is a crease line on it so that we can identify it as the shoulder. So the part where you are looking at the crease line is the shoulder. Now, this part I'm showing you now is the front. So I folded it into 2. Just like that. This is the front. I folded it into 2. For the neck depth for the front, you can either use 7 inches, 8 inches or 9, but remember that I already cut out 2 inches as the back neckline, and that 2 inches is included in the front also. So now what I'll be cutting out, I want a total of 9 inches as the front neckline. Now that I already cut out 2, so I'll just mark 7 inches from that point now. I'll mark 7 inches, then I'll make a mark there, then I'll cut it out. So I'm marking 7 inches. That means the total of the front neckline is 9 inches. So from that 7 inches point, I came in by 3/4 inch. Then I'll connect it to the shoulder. This is what the dress is looking like now. But before I measure around the neckline so that we can determine the length of our collar, I'll notch that corner at that part. I'll notch it on both sides. Then I'll measure around the neckline. Whatever I get, I'll be adding 4 inches allowance to it. So that will be the length of the collar that I'll cut out. So whatever I get from the measurement, I'll add 4 inches allowance to it. So that will be the length of the collar. This is the Ankara fabric I'll be using for the design in front. So I'll also be using it for the collar. The width of the collar is 2 inches on fold. That means when it is opened up, it is 4 inches. I'll be using ½ inch to stitch around the collar. That means I'll be left with 1.5 inches as the width of the collar. I'll get the midpoint of the collar now and notch it. Then I'll match it to the center back of the dress and pin it down. So from that point now, when I go over to the sewing machine, I'll stitch round the collar till I get to that part I notched earlier. I added interfacing to my collar. You can decide to add to yours or not depending on your choice, but interfacing gives it more stability. That's why I added it to mine. This is after I was done stitching the collar. So you can go ahead and use your overlock to finish that part off. Then now I'll just tuck the collar in now, the ends of the collar. I'll tuck it in and bring it out from the other side. Like this. Then you see that part we notched earlier, I'll just fold it in. Yeah. I'll take my hemming gum now and place it under the fabric and iron it down. I'll just place it under that part now and I'll iron it down. This will help us finish that part up nicely. So I'll iron it now. Now to the front design. So the length I cut out for the front design, I cut out 13 inches length and 13 inches width. So that's the length of the fabric, 13 inches length and 13 inches width. So I'll go ahead now and iron the edges. I'll fold in the edges round, just like you see me doing now. I'll iron and fold in the edges. Once I'm done ironing, I'll place it on the dress like this. So the front design depends on your choice, but for me, I'll just go in with a simple design. So after placing it on the fabric like this, I'll fold in that part. Yeah, I'll just fold in that part a little bit like that. I'll fold it in. Once I'm done folding, I'll iron it down like that. I will iron it down so that it stays flat. Then after ironing, I'll pin it down, then go over to the sewing machine to stitch it around. Then I'll show you what to do next. This is what the dress is looking like now after stitching the collar and the front design. I went ahead to overlock around the edges to seal it up. Then I went over to press it well. So now the next thing is to finish up the dress, finish up the sleeve parts, fix the pockets and finish up the hem. For the sleeve part, I'll fold it twice and go over to the sewing machine and stitch it around. I'll do the same to the other side of the sleeve. For the pocket, this is the leftover fabric I have from the dress, and I have 4 pieces of this fabric. There are so many ways to cut a pocket, but I'll be using this method for the purpose of this tutorial. The length I want to use for the pocket is 14 inches, and the width I'll be marking is 8 inches. So from the top of the sleeve, I measured 8.5 inches down. Then from that part, I'll just use my free hand to curve it in. I have attached one side of the pocket to the dress, so I'll be showing you how to attach the other pocket to the other side of the dress. The sleeve opening I used is 7 inches. I used 7 inches opening. 7 inches opening. But from the shoulder, I marked 16 inches from the shoulder. So now I'll just go ahead from the sleeve opening there. I'll go ahead and stitch round, following the pocket, then back to the main dress, and I'll stitch it down till I get to the end of the dress. So just like I did on this side now, I went ahead to stitch it from the sleeve opening down to the end of the dress, and I went ahead to overlock it. So that is what I'll be doing to the other side, and when I'm done with that side, I'll go ahead and hem the down part of the dress. I'll fold it twice and hem. I'll fold it like ½ inch first, then ½ inch the second time. So that is 1 inch I'll be using to hem the down part of the dress. And once I'm done, I'll show you the finished look of the dress. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Please click on the like button, subscribe to my channel, and turn on your notification bell so that you can get notified whenever I upload a new video. I'll see you in my next one. Bye.